Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for Eye Candy Season 1, Episode 2, BRB. And once again, guys, another great episode. And I know a lot of people are complaining about the show, saying it's really cheesy and it's not very good. But I'm really enjoying this show, definitely. I think this is a very good show. This is another solid episode. And I gotta say, this is definitely a very risky show for MTV, but I'm really enjoying it and I really like where it's going. And while this episode was not as good as the first episode, I still thought the first episode was a little bit stronger. I still really enjoyed this episode, and there was some great stuff in it. But let's just get to this episode because I really enjoyed it. And wow, what a great, this show knows how to do really good plot twists as well. So let's just get to it. So basically, at the beginning of this episode, we see the killer is with this girl who, we see this girl basically who I believe was trying to get like plastic surgery or something. No, she was in a tanning booth. That's what she was doing. She was trying to get a tan and everything. And the killer ended up killing her. And something interesting I found out about the killer, I don't know if this is anything, interesting. I don't know if I'm just overthinking it. But am I the only one that's realized this? The killer has only killed girls who are trying to change their inner beauty, who are trying to change themselves. Think about the first girl had crooked teeth, and he didn't like that, and the second girl tried to get a tan, and it seems like he does not like girls who don't have inner beauty. He doesn't like girls that try to change themselves. He likes girls, and so he likes girls the way they are. And I think that's sort of why he's doing this. And one of the other things I really like tonight is that we see more of the killer's point of view. We see how obsessed he is with Lindy. I mean, he totally has this whole vibe of he killed her boyfriend because he's in love with her. And you can totally see that the killer does love Lindy, so I love seeing that with the killer tonight. I love seeing the part where he's cutting photos of her. He's literally so obsessed with her, and the guy that's playing the killer is just doing such a great job. We don't know who the killer is yet, but when we find out whoever it is, the killer's awesome, and I can't wait to find out who it is. So, we see Lindy, she's meeting with the flirtual guys in a nightclub. It's that guy, Reese, that guy, and he gives her a pill, which she spits out, and she's walking to his car with him, and Sophia is very concerned. Sophia and Connor are very concerned. They don't like what she's doing. They don't like that she's doing this. They think she's going to get hurt, especially Sophia. Sophia is very concerned she's going to get hurt, and basically he gives her a pill. She spits out. She walks to his car with him, and Tommy calls her and tells her that the last woman he met on the site was found dead with her face burned off, and she tells the guy she has to go. And after the guy leaves, Tommy comes up and tells her obsession is hurting their surveillance efforts. And I like that Tommy says this because it's true. Lindy tells him the dead girl would still be alive if they had done their job, but I kind of agree with Tommy saying. I mean, she needs to let them do their job. She really does. She's not letting them do their job. She's not letting them be police officers. She's not letting them do what they should be doing. And it's her fault they're not getting anything done. It really is her fault, and I thought that was very good when we saw this. I like this conflict between Lindy versus the police officers. Definitely, I really enjoyed that. So Lindy comes home, and Sophia's kind of worried because she keeps staying out all night. She's not happy that this is she's very concerned about her. Especially because there's a killer among them. Obviously, she's very worried. So she confronts her on following the guys from Flirtual, and Lindy says she didn't tell her because she didn't want her to worry. Because she didn't tell Sophia, of course, and now Sophia is finding out stuff. And I like that Sophia is getting involved with this. I like that her friends are getting involved because it's not going to end well for them. I definitely really enjoyed that. So basically, she didn't want her to worry, and Sophia tells her it's not her fault what happened with Ben, and that taking care of all this isn't her job, it's the police's job. Because that's why she's doing this. She's doing this because she's trying to find Ben's killer. And Sophia realizes this. But Sophia's trying to tell her, look, it's not your fault. It's the killer's fault. And the police are taking care of this. So I really like seeing Sophia say this to her. I thought that was very well done, and I definitely really enjoyed that. So we meet a new character in this episode. We meet a sergeant from NYPD's cybercrimes unit. She seems like the first person in, the police station that actually wants to work with Lindy. She tells her that, she confronts Lindy and to tell her that they've noticed her vigilante surveillance. And she tells Lindy that she doesn't want to stop her, she wants to help her. And she wants her to become, she wants them to work with her because maybe they can get stuff done easier. Because, Lindy knows how to hack into things. She's very smart with that kind of stuff. And they feel like she'd actually be a good ally for that. So they kind of feel like, she'd be good at that. And Lindy says she doesn't want to work with people like them. She tells her she doesn't want to work with them. Having been delusioned by her previous issues with the police, the sergeant says she can make up for their failures regarding her sister, saying they have the resources to help. And it kind of seems like she's interested after that. I don't know. She seemed interested, but I don't know. She seemed interested to me, but I don't know if she really was interested. I think she was, but you never know. I thought that was really good, though, and I like seeing that the police, not all the police are completely against her. Some of them want to work with her. I definitely really enjoyed that. So Jake surprises Lindy in her apartment with flowers, saying he wants to make her dinner, and basically, he wants to make her dinner. And this is the other guy that the police, the sergeant warned her that this guy is probably the killer. He's probably the one that's doing it, and he's a suspect right now. So Lindy's very worried about Jake. She's very worried that things are not going to go well with him. And I don't trust this guy at all. I don't trust Jake one bit. I mean, he seems way too nice. He seems way too flirtatious. He seems like he wants to move way too fast. And he totally seems like the killer. I mean, he seems like he's totally in love with her. He seems like he would do anything for her. And that's exactly what the killer was in that voice. What you really have to do is connect that, like the voiceover we hear with the killer to the guy she meets. I totally think it's Jake. But I really want the show to surprise me and tell me it's not Jake, because if it is Jake, I'm kind of going to be upset because I don't want the show to be predictable. I want the show to be unpredictable and throw some sort of twist and tell me that it's not Jake. That could actually be very well done if we find out that it's not Jake. I'd actually really enjoy that. But at this point, I think it's Jake. So, Sophia and Connor come in, and Lindy talks to Sophia in the bathroom. Sophia asks if there's a serial killer in the house right now, and Lindy says she doesn't think so, but just to be sure, she basically tells Sophia about the other victim that has been found with a burned off face, and I like that they actually addressed that in this episode, because like they did last week was they had that and then they got rid of it. It was weird, but it seems like in this episode they address it, which I enjoyed. Basically, when Lindy kisses his cheek and puts it, basically Connor comes in, and the two of them decide to stay with Lindy and Jake for safety. Basically, that's what happened there. They want to stay with Lindy and Jake for safety because, of course, they don't want something bad to happen to Lindy. So we get this really funny scene of their friendship. I really like seeing the scene. I mean, I really like Sophia as a character. I mean, she's kind of like the I can understand if someone gets annoyed by her, but she's a very essential character because she is Lindy's best friend, and you see how close they are, and how much she cares about her, and how much she wants to work with her. And I actually really enjoyed seeing that with Sophia. I definitely really enjoyed seeing what was going on there. I definitely really enjoyed that scene. So basically, Lindy kisses his cheek and puts him in the cab, and basically that's how their date went. Now, Tommy is not happy about this at all, and I kind of agree with what Tommy says to her, because honestly, what Tommy says is the truth. This is not a game. This is, very serious police work, and he says she needs to leave to the police. They know what they're doing, and he's telling her that Reese has an alibi for the day of the murder, and they pretty much think that it's Reese at this point. That's what they think is going on, is that it's Reese. So, but of course, in Lindy's eyes, what I really like about her is that everyone is a suspect, because we saw this in the last episode. Pretty much everyone is a suspect to her. So as I said, that's really what's going on with Jake. So of course, basically, instead of believing him, she decides the best bet would be to basically go out with Reese, because she gets George's help hacking into the city's security cameras, and she watches clips of the streets surrounding the time the victim was killed, and she sees a car appear after the camera pans away and back, and then the car just disappears. So clearly there's something going on with this guy. Clearly there's something going on with Reese. He's not being truthful. He's kind of lying to them. Well, he's not kind of lying. He is lying. There's clearly something going on with him, and Lindy doesn't trust him. So basically, she's sure that that's the killer's car. And at the police station, Tommy comes in to find Lindy Wing, and she thinks that Reese's alibi is fake, and she wants to go on a date with him. Now, what I really like seeing in this episode was Tommy and the sheriff, the police, the sergeant, argue a little bit, because the sergeant is convinced that Lindy is good for them, while Tommy's convinced that they're not going to get anything done, that Lindy is terrible for them, that they should not trust her, that she's not good for them. But I like seeing this conflict here, because you see how these two think differently of Lindy, and I definitely actually really enjoyed that, because I like this conflict. And basically they ultimately decide that Lindy should work with them, and basically Lindy comes up with this plan about what's going on, that basically that sheriff had approached her before about, that sergeant had approached her before about working with them, and she decides to do that. And what she decides to do is she tells him that she thinks that Reese's alibi, is fake. And Tommy is pretty convinced that this actually could be a good thing. That the sergeant convinces him, that it takes a little bit for him to, think this is a good idea. But luckily, the sergeant, convinces him. And basically, Lindy goes on a date with Reese. That's what she decides to do, is go on a date with him. And basically, what ends up happening is that, basically, basically what's going on here is that she decides to go on a date with Reese to see if he could be the one that is really doing this, And again, everyone is a suspect to her, so obviously that's why she thinks Reese could be the one. Plus, they think it's Reese, and I like seeing Lindy work with the cops. I like seeing her work with them rather than her being against them, because I like seeing things get done. I definitely really enjoyed that. There were some things I definitely really enjoyed because of that. So basically, Tommy can hear the whole thing the whole time. He's under surveillance through a mic, but she can hear him even when he tells her she looks beautiful. And it kind of is foreshadowing a romance between them. I have to say, I kind of feel like Tommy, it kind of is foreshadowing a romance. However, Tommy could be the killer as well. It's a weird theory, but Tommy could definitely be the killer. It actually does make sense if he's the killer, because the thing with Tommy is that Tommy is incredibly, protective of her, and completely cares about her, and seems to sort of, not want anything to happen. He doesn't want her to do anything. So, in a way, I kind of feel like Tommy could be the killer. I don't know, it's a weird theory of mine, but think about it. Tommy could be the killer, just from that one line saying that she's beautiful. Every man's a suspect on the show. This is one of those shows where anyone is a suspect. Well, Sophia's not a suspect, Connor's not a suspect, but Tommy could definitely be a suspect, and I could definitely see Tommy being the one. So, she goes on a date with Reese, and Reese has decided a surprise for her. Instead of a restaurant, he brought her to a junkyard and tried to make a move on her. And he also made it very clear that he wasn't a nice guy and just wanted to have fun before leaving town. Basically just wanted to have sex with her. And it kind of sounds like a killer. However, what ends up happening is that he told her that he's sorry, that he was just high and things like that, to not be worried about what was going on. And I thought that was very well done. I definitely really enjoyed that when he said that to her. Because he kind of seemed like a nice guy, actually. I was like, you know what? Reese might actually be a nice guy. He might not be as bad as she thinks he is. And I actually kind of like that, because it seemed like they were portraying him as this bad guy, and then we find out he's not really a bad guy, which I kind of liked. So, basically, it kind of sounds like the killer. However, she gets a text from Tommy, and she runs to the car, but it's been rigged, and Tommy's been put in the trunk. And again, this killer clearly is very smart. They know how to hack into things. They know what they're doing, and I can't wait to find out who the killer is, because they're so smart, and that's why it makes me think it's possibly Tommy. And even though Tommy was in that trunk and was put in danger, he could have staged it. He could have easily put himself in danger and staged it. And in the driver's seat, we see a dummy covered in photos of Lindy and her friends, and basically every move she's made since Ben's death. And it is so... that scene was legitimately creepy. That was really creepy what happened there. But it was also very well done. I definitely really enjoyed that. And basically, the car slams, she gets Tommy out, and he makes it clear that she and her friends need to stay under police surveillance. She tells Sophia and Connor exactly what's going on, and they are extremely concerned. They do not think this is a good idea at all. Sophia especially is concerned. And obviously, they have a right to be concerned because of what's going on. It's not good what's going on at all. I mean, what she's doing is going to get her into big trouble. And I mean, especially because she's been in jail and everything. But now she's working with the police. I kind of feel like it's a good thing, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good thing. I like that Sophia is telling her this isn't a good idea and this is not gonna end up well for you. I like seeing that because Sophia's very protective of her. I really like that. And basically, Tommy makes it clear that they need to stay under police surveillance until Reese is captured. But basically, before anything can happen, though, before she finds anything, and before anything happens, before they catch Reese, Lindy then gets a video. She gets this video, basically, and Lindy and Tommy both receive the same exact text, and it's a live video of the killer torturing Reese, and that's basically how it ends. So, basically, Reese is not the killer. He is being tortured by the killer. So, here's what I'm thinking. Anyone that Lindy gets close with, the killer's going to kill. So, I still feel like it could be Tommy. I do. But it also could be Jake, or Tommy and Jake could be working together. You never know. Maybe the killer is a group of people. Maybe the killer is not one person. Maybe the killer is a killers. And it makes sense because it seems like some of the stuff the killer's doing, they seem extremely smart, definitely. The killer, as I said, knows what they're doing. So if that's true, then I'm very interested in finding out who the killer is. I definitely think I have an idea of who it is, but I'm not sure. Now, there are a few things I definitely want to talk about. First of all, Sophia, I really love how protective Sophia and Connor are going to be, but it makes me worried for them because I feel like their killer's going to come after them as well. If Sophia comes after Ben, Sophia and Connor, I definitely feel like the killer's going to come after them because Sophia and Connor are kind of stopping Lindy, and the killer seemed obsessed with her. Again, one of the things I loved seeing in this episode was the killer's motive, seeing what the killer thinks of Lindy, why he's so obsessed with her. It was very, very creepy to watch, and I really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed seeing the killer, be so concerned about Lindy. I really, really enjoyed that. Very, very creepy stuff, but I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought that was very, very well done. Now, while this episode, as I said, was not as good as the first one just had a lot more going on. I enjoyed it more. There wasn't as much going on this episode. I love seeing Lindy working with the police. Definitely Tommy is very concerned. Do you think that Tommy and the sergeant, they still gonna have those conflicts? I like seeing them have this conflict because, the sergeant thinks it's a good idea that Lindy's working them, while Tommy doesn't think it's a good idea at all. He thinks it's a terrible idea that she's working with them. So I'm very interested in seeing what you guys think of that. I think that was very well done. I definitely really enjoyed seeing them be concerned about her. I really enjoyed that plot. Thought that was very good. And overall, guys, I'm really enjoying the show. And some things I'm really enjoying about this show is just the suspense level is so good in this show. The way they're portraying the storylines are really good. I'm just really enjoying it overall. I think it's very enjoyable. I guess my only complaint would be, I don't like that they keep showing people that are murdered and then just go away. I feel like there's something, they're going to all connect somehow. But right now what they're doing is they show a girl that's murdered and then they don't talk about it for the rest of the episode. They spend the first half talking about it and then the second half they don't even focus on that. I kind of feel like they need to find a balance between that. That's really my only complaint with this show. It's a very small complaint. It doesn't really bother me because I'm really into the show. I'm really into it and I'm surprised by how into it I am because a lot of people are not enjoying it. A lot of people are saying the show is very cheesy. And while I could see that, I applaud MTV for doing this kind of show. I definitely feel like it's working very well for them. Because it's keeping me guessing, it's keeping me interested, and I thought the show was gonna be like Pretty Little Liars, and it's nothing like that. Because the thing we don't get in Pretty Little Liars is the killer talking and the killer doing things. And do you guys agree with my theory that the killer is killing women that don't believe that that want to do something to themselves with their beauty and everything? I could definitely see that being a possibility. Do you think that the killer is... Who do you think the killer is? I definitely think it could be Jake or Tommy. But that's basically for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, yeah, I guess that's basically it. I don't know what else I want to say, really. That's for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for, I guess, Pretty Little Liars, because there's nothing else on. Also, guys, I might not be reviewing the Fosters individually anymore. I just don't want to. I have 3 shows to watch, and I don't know if I'll have as much time. So, because I'm in my school musical, and I don't really know if I'll have as much time to review both of them. So, I'm going to try to, but we'll see what happens. If I don't have as much time, then I just don't have as much time. But we'll see what happens there. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Pretty Little Liars. So, see you guys for that. Okay, bye.